Right, so sorry for those technical issues. So we just lost about 7 minutes. Okay, anyway, let's just start with the topic. So today I'll be talking about how to do web conversion and improve your engagement on your own website. So in the first place, we have to understand the purpose. Why do we do website conversion? Why do we do CRO or conversion rate optimization in the industrial term? Okay, so what you get to do is when you do CRO, conversion rate optimization, you lower acquisition costs, you increase the average revenue per visitor, and you get more customers with the same amount of effort. Okay, so what this all does is that it will increase your business, will grow your business, whether it's revenue-wise, customer-wise, staff-wise, productivity-wise, stuff like that. So money is the fuel for business. So the best way to hack a business is through hacking conversion. Okay, so let's just consider this simple sales formula. So the first is web traffic times conversion rate times average price, you get your revenue. Okay, so let's consider an example, 20,000 web traffic with 1% conversion rate, which is pretty good actually. And then with an average price of $200, which is quite a pricey product, but we'll just roll with that. And the revenue is 40,000. So this is just a hypothetical number, and this is not based on my customer's case study or something like that. And for the same amount of traffic, we do conversion optimization. We were able to increase by 5%. And without changing the web traffic or getting more users in and not increasing the price, we're able to increase the revenue by 5-fold. Okay, so what exactly affects conversion rate? Okay, so conversion rate, I just want to let you know is that it's simple. It's similar to like conversion rate is buying, and the opposite of that is the objection. Okay, so we have this formula for marketing where normally they put as 3 P's, but I came up with a new one, 4 P's, because it has something to do with the design. So let's go with the first one. The first one is people. Yep, so people, it has both sides. The people who are actually wanting to buy the product from you, and the other one is you yourself. Yeah, as a business, you're selling your product. Do they really want you? So if you're not selling to the right people, if you're not approaching to the right people, or basically people don't have money, they will most definitely not buy from you. And if they were going to buy from you, but they don't know you, they don't know who you are, and you claim to be somebody else, something, they're not going to buy from you too. Okay, so the second one is product. So in product, it depends on the quality and the competition. So if a product has so many competition, like this webcam, there's a lot of webcam out there, and what makes this different? Yeah, so the quality wise, and then there's so many alternatives. So it also depends on the product. Okay, and sometimes they just don't trust the product enough to buy it. The third is the price, which is the affordability and the perceived value. If it's too expensive, sorry, let's just go back a bit. By affordability, it means that it could be too cheap or it could be too expensive. Okay, so some people don't buy things that are too cheap because we feel the quality is not that good and it might break within like few days of usage. This is some of the things that I do too. I buy tools from very cheap hardware store just to use it once or twice. That's it. And I don't mind if it's broken or even if I lose it. I just want to get it done once. Okay. So the perceived value is how much you think it's worth, but it's actually not that much. Okay. And then lastly is how you present it. If we're in a physical world and if you were approached by a salesman that doesn't really look good, doesn't really appear too well, has a very, very strong personality coming to you, you probably reject right there and then. So it's similar to a presentation on a website. How you present it on a website matters as well. So this is your message and the design that you put into your website. Okay. In this talk, I'll be covering more about the people and the how you present your own product. Yeah. So for the product and price, I think that's something for your business to figure out how you can improve your own product and find the best pricing for your customer. Okay, so let's just start. So if we have time, I think pretty much we started slow. So if we have time, let's just go through some of the case studies and we'll just bounce to this idea. Okay. Okay. Hi, I'm Edwin. So finally, I get a finally proper introduction. I'm a designer and marketer. So what we do at Laman 7, we do redesign and remarket. What that means is whatever falls under these two categories, we do. Okay, so and we only focus on growth. So if you just started your business and you want to hire us to do for you, well, we can't do that because I think as we progress further, you were able to see what we actually do. Yeah, but for new businesses, we try to tell them, okay, work a bit pricey, so you might want to test out the idea first, whether this really takes off. And if it takes off, then maybe later on in the future, we can further help you. Okay, because it's not that we don't want to help people, but I mean, yeah, there's a theory. Okay, but okay, so let's start with it. There are 5 conversion rules this is rules that we follow all the time at Lama 7. Okay, so number 1 is use logic to make decision. So a lot of business owners, when we work with, when they saw the data, they get heartache. Okay, they spend a lot of money on the website. They push ads, and then the profit isn't there, the sales isn't there, and then they made a loss. So what do they do? Typically, what they do is they go around, start bossing people, designers, hey, designer, change this, change that, change this, change that. So without proper understanding of data, and you keep changing things that aren't broken, you ended up breaking it even worse. So that's why when you make a decision, it has to be based on data. It has to be based on logic. It cannot be emotional. Because if you're emotional, I think we can all agree we make the worst decision when we're emotional. Yeah, especially like right now, I'm hungry. So but the first tool, the tool that we use is Google Analytics. So when we redesign website or whatever, when we tell our customers, you should look at your data tools. Try to understand what it means. Okay, how do people navigate through your website? How long is the engagement? What is your bounce rate? What's the on-time page? What is the most favorite page? What is the most viewed page? Yeah, so those sort of things. How long does it load? So those sort of things. I mean, those numbers probably doesn't make sense to you right now, but when you keep looking at it every single week, you can dig up and learn this. I think our next panelist would be able to explain in detail more about Google Analytics. So I think let him take it from there, okay? And the next tool we use is Hotjar. So Hotjar, it's a visual tool. So once we complete a website, we usually install this on our customer's website. So we were able to track where do actually end user go to navigate through the website, right? So are they clicking the call to action? Are they clicking the menu? Are they clicking home? Or are they just quitting the website? And then from here, we are able to come up with a solution or come up with a plan, what needs to be changed or what doesn't need to change, what needs to be optimized and stuff like that. So we can do this as many times as you want until we find that this is the best optimization. So you can see that if you're a business that just started out, it'll be pretty difficult to really understand this. You just basically want the idea to roll, not to try to optimize. Yeah. Okay, so rule number 2 is to have specific goals. Well, don't get me wrong, a lot of businesses have goals when it comes to website, but they have this thing called big goals. Something like, I want to get 100,000 visitors per day. I want 1 million visitors per year. So those are big goals, but what it needs to be translated to is that what are the micro goals? How do you get to the big goals? Okay, so normally I split into 2, micro goals and big goals. Micro goals, something like how many people download the ebook, how many people submit the form, What about your blog posts? Are they redirecting to any other pages? What about contact form? How many people are contacting you? How many are subscribing to your content? And how many plays the video or purchase? Make purchase, like normal e-commerce stuff. Okay. So what we can do is that now we break down into this flow. Okay. So let's just go with the first one. Okay. When customers come from SEO, or maybe you run an ads to come to the blog post to teach them about what your product, what does it do, the benefit of your product, and then the micro goal here is to get them to the product page. So once they get to the product page, you tell them what's the benefit, what's the feature, how much does it cost, what is it different, what's the warranty, stuff like that, and they love it. They add to cart, right? So when they add to cart, and naturally you want this to flow smoothly as possible to make them pay. Okay, so a lot of business that I see is that when they want to build e-commerce, they want to have like special feature for the cart. They want to add additional form, this and that, this and that. But tell you what, when it comes to cart, just follow the norm. Just go to any website that you think that you've made purchase and you find it very convenient. Just follow that flow because it's already tested. The user experience is already tested. Don't try to come up with something funny. So I had this one customer who wanted to sign. For every single card, or for every payment that they made, they have to sign. And they don't actually sell that expensive of a product. I know, but you know, it's imagine going to a grocery store and then suddenly they're asking, sir, you need to do this, to do this, to do this in order for you to pay. So it's a bit of a hassle and not many people want that. So try as much as possible, make it as slippery slide as possible, get them to pay as painless as possible. That's what Shopee and Lazada has been doing. They already have your bank account, I think, connected to the Shopee Pay app. So when you pay, you don't actually think about it, you just pay right there and then, right? Okay, so the big goal now is to get revenue from the website. So that's how you break. Okay, first you from the start here, you plan where are you and then where do you want to go, and then plan those micro goals. So it's not that hard, presumably. Okay, so rule number 3, only sell to people who have the desire. This is something of a marketer thing and not many people quite understand this. So let's just get into this, right? So can you sell a lipstick to a man? Maybe, but most of the time it's not possible because I don't know, I don't have use for it. But if you sell me lip balm, I think I'll probably use it. But can you sell lipsticks to all women? Not entirely, because not all women wears makeup or wear lipsticks. They don't wear to sleep. Yeah. So women who wear makeup, who wear lipstick, women who desires to look pretty wear lipsticks. So it applies to a woman like who goes to office, but right now it's MCO, so we don't really use lipstick anymore. But for makeup artists as well, so these are the 2 people that buys the most makeup, buys the most lipstick, right? So they have different shade to match their color, shade, stuff like that. Okay. Okay, so why do we target desire? What is so significant about desire? Why not needs? Okay, so needs is the basic function of everything. If you're selling a product like that is in the category of needs, can you pause? Hang on, can we check? Is anybody saying something? Okay, never mind. If you're selling something that is of basic needs, something like, let's just say milk, okay? There are like 5, 8 different brands of milk. It's all about the same. I mean, if you're lactose intolerant, then maybe it's a bit different for you, but it's all the same, right? So you only care about the price then. So that's why we want to go away with milk. Okay, like for example, I put bicycle here. I can go to office by just riding a bicycle. It's about 5-minute cycling, but I want a better experience. I don't want sweat when I come into office. So I ride motorcycle. I can ride motorcycle. This is something I want. Okay, but is this appealing enough? I don't think so. Why not come to office feeling satisfied? Yeah, like riding super bike. Okay, the powers between my leg, and I can ride as fast as I can, and the sound, the immersive sound. So these are the things that differentiates people from spending. Okay, what we want to do is target those people who have the desire, who wants emotional satisfaction. Right. In the case of milk, again, if you're lactose intolerant, you can buy almond milk. So that's about ringgit per liter. Yeah. So it's, you don't need it, but if you really need it that bad, there you go. There's always an option for you. Okay. So what does what desire do we actually want to pull out from people? Okay. So the first is goal. What is it that they want? What emotionally what they want to fulfill? Then second is the problem. What problem are they facing? What are they trying to overcome? And then third, the mean, whether they can afford it, monetary wise, or logistically possible. Okay, logistically, something like there are some books that I want to buy, but they don't have it here in Malaysia. I have to order through Amazon. And when I order through Amazon, it costs double. The shipping is double than the price of the book. Okay, so that's what it means. So it doesn't make sense. Okay, so in order to extract desire, you have to ask your customer, or you guess until you get it right. Okay, so asking customer, when you pick up the phone and call customer, hey, bro, what's your goal? It's impossible. No one would ever tell you, no one would tell you that straight up, okay? Or call up a customer, hey, right, okay, so I got email from you. So what's your problem? No one would answer that. So you have to play a role to be like, ask slowly. It's gonna take time for you to build this out, right? Okay. Or the second best option is guess until you get it right. So this is something that Pizza Hut or McDonald's have been doing. Yeah. So Pizza Hut, they come up with rendang satay, rendang pizza. So I've tasted and I think it was weird. Okay. So they guessed it, whether it's good or bad, doesn't matter. As long as you're doing something, right? Do something. Not just sit still, not trying to not trying to appeal to anything at all. Okay. Now, when you have this, when you have asked your customer, you guess until you get it right, and you know the goals, you know the problem, and you know they have the means to get it, you craft a new message. So this message is your content, something like your headline, then your intro body, stuff like that, and the features, what do actually people want, and you prioritize based on what they want. So when you have a new good content, it'll be a lot easier for you to sell your product. Okay, so rule number 4 is apply contrast to get attention. So contrast has a lot to do with design. So a lot of designer would say something like it has to be this space padding has to be this, that, this, that. Well, that is true. You can also go to the quickest one is just apply contrast. Contrast meaning be different than any other element on the page. So it has to apply to two things, all right? First is the attention. What is it that you want them to know? What is the information that you want them to digest right here, right now? And it cannot be more than 3 because human brain can only capture up to 3. But the best is just do 1. And then the next one is what is the action that you want them to take? Do you want them to click on the button? Then that's the button, click it. You want them to answer the form. So make sure the form is properly highlighted so that people know what they need to be doing next. So design works best if you're not making them think. Okay, so how do you do contrast? So contrast can be done in fonts, the size, you make it like bigger. So you can see it in this page alone. Some are big, some are small. So those are the hierarchy that people see. You start from the big and then you start going all the way to the smallest one. Normally we go to the last one, this one. Okay. Then second is the white space. So white space is the distance between that element and other element. Okay. So if you want to put a very, if you want to highlight that content, that piece of content, that information, you probably want to distance it with the paragraph, with the other text. Okay. And then image. You can add quirky image or fun, but normally we try to play it safe. Just use a normal image, as long as it's high quality and it's yours. Okay, and then the composition has to be right. So because why don't we use pretty image? I think I'll show you in some examples later. And then the next one is color. So if you have a black screen, black layout, black background, you might want to use orange, yellow, just to highlight, just to add a bit of a contrast to your attention text and your action. I think it's best to just go with the example, right? So this is one example of a mockup. It's not something that we did. I just got this somewhere. Okay, so we can see clearly here what are the things that they want you to see. Okay, it makes it easier for them to scan. Okay, so this is the key attention, right? So this is among the biggest thing here on the page. Okay, so the next one is, and then they highlight the action. Do the search, perform the search, do. Okay, and then the image, well, it's just not appetizing, nothing. I mean, it doesn't evoke anything, right? Okay, compared to this one. Okay, so now you can see the key attention. It's about the same, yeah? and then again, they want you to perform the next action, so they highlight it in orange. But what's distracting here is that this girl is looking at you. Okay, so it depends on people. When to me, if people are looking at me from the computer and without doing anything, I feel violated. I don't know. Okay, maybe that's just me. Okay, so let's just take another example. And so far, there has been 2 good examples, and then this one. So find the attention here. What is it that we want to bring forth? What is it we want to tell people? There isn't. Everything is fighting each other. Okay, I don't know. As a designer, also, I don't know where are you trying to focus here. Okay, because every element is fighting. Yes, you see the bottom left, service, web design development is fighting with the top part. Okay, so what you need to do is try to remove the distraction, which is not that easy, because design is not about just creating something. It's also about taking things out until they make sense. Okay, so in this, let's just go back to this one. Okay, I think a lot of websites have this kind of problem. So let's just do this right now, okay? Okay, when we look at this, what's the attention here? What is it that we really want to tell people? You want to tell that a picture can talk 1,000 words, or you're a web development agency growing brands online? Okay, so get your priorities right. What is it that you want to tell people? Okay, put it there and then make it as big as possible, as big as enough. And then all these images here, if it doesn't make any sense, remove it. And the background picture of the building, it doesn't add to anything, remove it. Okay, and then the services here, can you make this a bit smaller? Yeah, you can. It's not really that important, but we can put it as the second biggest because this is the hierarchy that it is. Okay, the first thing we want to tell people that we're an agency, here's our services. So it makes a lot of sense if you proceed that kind of way, rather than just trying to fight for attention all the time. Okay, so good design is obvious. Great design is transparent. Rule number 5 is care about your customer. This is one of the things that I think I also don't do. I think I should be doing more. Okay, but I think Exabyte is doing a good job, really good job about following up with all the customer. So how to care with the customer? You do interview, you call, you email, you communicate, you educate, like this seminar, educate people, right? Then you ask about the purchase. How was it? How was our server? How was our product? How was our service to you? How was our website? Was it good? Don't try to defend if it turned bad, but if it's good, also accept it. Okay, but most of the time they turn out bad. Yeah, but that's the nature of it. Nobody's satisfied with anything. And then the important question here is how they found you in the first place. Sometimes when we try to close a sale, we often overlook how they found us. Could be like from a friend, could be like, oh, they actually followed us we had a few customers who actually followed us for a few years, who follow our work everywhere we go, until then decided to hire us. And now what he does for us is he gets businesses for us. We don't have to go out. So he do the closing, everything for us, and comes back to us like, hey bro, this is a new job for you. So that is the kind of bond that you have when you start asking for feedback, improve. Because despite customer giving you money, they also want you to improve, okay? And I'll ask for the outcome. Like two years down the road, or one year after you built the website, how was it? Was the website good? Is it still functioning? Is anything broken? If there's anything broken, here's the bill. Okay, here's the update. Here's the bill. Whichever one you want. Okay, so and then remember birthday. That's the simplest form. Okay, so ultimately, be a friend. Right? That's all that matters. Just be a friend to them. If you're selling expensive product and something that is appealing desirably, like for example, a website that costs like 10,000, 2,000, 20,000, 3,000, right? So it's expensive. So try to be a friend. But if you're selling something that is just of need or something of want, then you don't really need to be a friend. But if you go to that mile, I can promise you that no one can ever steal that away from you. Right? I don't think I have a personal experience with that. No, I don't. No. But anything that is expensive and then they create, for example, yeah, this Apple. I think I've been a family of Apple for quite some time. Right. Everything they come up, I buy new things. So they've been my friend. They've been doing really good stuff. Okay, every time it's broken, I get free replacement, stuff like that. Yep, people prefer to buy from someone they know. So be a friend. Okay, so the key takeaway here is that the first rule is that, so this is like a Fight Club rule. The first rule of conversion is use data. Second rule is define your goal and break down into micro goals. Third rule is only attack those with desire. So if you're selling a server, then what's the desire? No downtime. Yeah, that's the desire. Just attack on that. Okay. So rule number 4 is when you've got the desire and you got the message here, and that's exactly what people like to hear, you use it on your design, which brings us to rule number 4, your contrast. Okay, what you want them to do then? You want them to buy something from you, then by all means highlight the button that leads to the CTA, leads to the page to make the purchase. Okay, and then rule number 5 is when they make payment for you, become their buddy. Okay, so again, let me reiterate the formula of conversion or objection. The first is people, so it's two sides, the buyer, the seller, and then the product, whether it's quality and how about other competitors, is there a market for it? Okay, and the third is the price, whether it's affordable and can you find ways to increase the perceived value? Can it be more expensive than it looks? And then lastly, the presentation, how you present it. If it's like a $1,000 watch, the website has to reflect it looks like a 1,000, because if you're trying to sell something expensive and then it doesn't look good, the shop is running and the website is the image is wonky, some part of the page is not loading, then your conversion rate will definitely reduce. Okay. So most of the time I can help you with the people and the presentation side, businesses have to care about the product and price. So you need to find a partner to do this for you. Either you find it in-house to do the marketing or design, or you find a partner who can actually help you do the marketing and design. So while you handle the customer section, there are somebody else who's doing the exploration for you, who are actually helping you to win more sales. So those are the things that I think you want to pursue. I think we have time. Yeah, I guess we do. Okay, so case study here. So based on the 4 P's that I've mentioned just now, okay, so what made Duck Scarf so successful? All right, so a lot of people cringe over her. I mean, everybody loves her. Everybody wants to be her. Every teenager I ask, who you want to be? Who's your role model for businesswoman? This lady, okay. So the owner, she has a YouTube channel and she's doing really well. Yes. She has a lot of followers. Oh my God, what's this? Okay. Okay. And then she made the product to be limited edition. Right? So that's the price. And then she repeats daily. Every day before it launches, she will tell, hey, there's something new. There's something new coming up. Yeah. And then fourth is high quality. I think I've seen the product. It's definitely worth 800 or 1000. Okay. You can feel it. You can feel the texture. So whether it's a bit of lavish spending, I don't know. Okay. Depends on the target audience, which is the last one. Appeal to working women who desires to look good. So when people come to office, they want to feel their best. They want to feel excellent. Okay, it's like the first line of defense is look good, appeal well, right? So okay, so that's it from me. So if you have any questions, you want to ask me directly, I think I prefer for you to go through my LinkedIn, or you can follow me through Instagram. And if you want to learn more about Alaman 7, you can go to our resources and you can download a bunch of ebooks there. And want to learn more about our work, you can go to our case studies. Right? Okay, Lauren, back to you.
All right. Absolutely. Thank you so much, Edwin. Now, of course, guys, for those of you who are watching, you have his contact details here. So if you have any questions, of course, leave them in the Q&A box. We've got 2 questions right here. So here we go. Our first question, a little bit of a long one. But Mahindran is asking, hi, Mr. Edwin. I would like to ask, how about if a client that hires to do their business website, but they don't have clear goals? So we as developers, can we come up with a UI UX design and create goals that are related to their business?
Right. Okay. So Mahindran. Okay. Thank you. That's a very tough question actually. So normally when we try to build website, if they don't have clear goal, we keep harping until they come up with a clear goal. Yeah. Otherwise, don't pay me any single cent. I'm not going to do anything for you. So, but as a developer, it's pretty difficult because we come to this point where sometimes we have code creep, and they keep changing the requirement again and again and again and again. So what you want to do is make an agreement, make them sign, and make sure both party are happy, and just stick to that agreement. So if there's any further changes, you can charge more.
Yeah, and absolutely. I think you also need to know what you're getting yourself into, and you need to know what the person wants, or else you wouldn't even know where to start designing or how to cater to them in the first place.
Right.
So I agree with you. All right, our next question is from Dan. Now Dan is asking, how can you portray the exquisiteness and class of the product on the product page if it's a corporate gift?
Okay, how do you portray our exquisiteness, class? Okay, all right. So these are the things. These are the questions that you actually have to ask your customer. If you ask me, I don't know how it's going to look like. If we start a business on this also, I would, hey, can you pass me your customer detail? I'll try to call them and understand what is exquisite from their point of view. Okay? Because like if you're trying to sell I don't know how much our corporate gift is this. Is this like $1,000 or I don't know, 10,000? Okay, so it's not really specific. So if it's like $1,000, so the packaging, the wrapping has to be nice. And the website, the picture, everything has to be immaculate. But if you're selling like a pen, you don't have to go that crazy. Get a model to model the pen. Those are some simple takeaway, yeah?
All right. We have another question. This one is actually from a private chat. I think they didn't want their identity to be known, but that's okay.
Right, okay.
The question is, what are the sizes or revenue volumes of the business that qualifies for your services, and what are the charges like? Perhaps you can private message me directly if this question is not appropriate.
Okay, no, it's all right. We don't actually look at the number of revenue. We don't really care whether it's a million, 20 million. We care as long as you've started it and you want to go somewhere. Personally, I'm not, as a team, we probably care. We also do care about money, right? Because we need to pay the bills, stuff like that. But I'm more interested in working with people who wants to grow. If I'm in just for the $1 billion company, then I think that's not it. But yeah, to answer that question, we do have we do work with a company who earns billions, and we do work with also a company who earns 20, 30,000. So it's a big range. And our price normally starts at 6,500. So that's just for the strategy alone. And then we add up from there. Right?
Okay, that question is actually in the chat itself. Sorry, so that's from Daniel. Daniel, hope we've answered your question.
Sorry, Lauren, I don't know how to manage that. All right, okay.
It's okay. It's okay. I think most of the questions that I hear are quite deep. They're very intricate. So it's okay. Breathe. We'll get through this. All right. Our next question is, how can you effectively track conversion if you don't use a landing page? And let me see. I think it's okay. How can you effectively track conversion if you don't use a landing page and if your page doesn't have an e-commerce store?
Well, there's a number of ways for you to track conversion rate. You can actually use, I don't know, but this is the simplest one. Normally, we just use Google Analytics. I think you'll be explaining I think in two more speakers, right? You'll be talking about Google Analytics. So I think you should stick around to that.
Yes.
But I think the simplest one is Google Analytics. That's it.
Okay, so our next one is Siulin. Siulin, her question is, what is the URL to the free resources and case studies you mentioned? It is not clickable here in Zoom.
Oh, okay. Siulin, I think after this, Exabyte is going to send the PDF, and so you try to download that and then distribute it, whatever you want to do. You can click all the links in the page, okay?
Okay, this next one is from Christina Kang. If we have expensive products, does our website need to look expensive with hiring international models to have an international look?
Hang on, yeah. If we have expensive, okay. First, who is your target audience, right? This is one of the biggest problem in web design world, is that when we approach customers, we want to use Mat Saleh, right? Or international people for the sake of argument. But most of the customers are local, are Malay, Chinese, Indian. Why are you using people who are not even buying your product? So those are the things. But if you're in the fashion industry, you want to be different than other people, sure, why not? Go ahead. Hire international model.
Yeah, I do think that there is a certain standard because I, for one, I do quite a bit of online shopping. So when I see websites who use international models, somehow I get a little bit, I don't know, I don't feel like buying so much of the products because like I would rather see it on, people, on Asians for that matter. And I get just a little bit discouraged by that. So I understand what you're talking about, but at the same time, I also understand that if you want to have that kind of exclusivity, you probably have to use international models. But there's definitely pros and cons, which I think you've highlighted. And I think for the most part, Christina has to kind of just weigh those options out. But you're absolutely right. Okay, I think we have time for one more or two more questions. So this next one is from Linux Low. I hope I pronounced that correctly. So the question is, any suggestions on drafting out the strategies for that?
Drafting. Okay, so well, this actually depends on your experimentation. We tried package before. It didn't really work out for us. So we use an open check method. It's like, how much are you willing to pay? This much, okay, so the whole chunk of it we're going to take. So it's not a matter of package anymore, but if you're start out with package, it's a lot easier for people to see. Okay, so let's take on the next one. How can I think like a designer? You attend design school, okay, but basically it's this, right? To give you a context, designers, architects, engineers, doctors, they're all the same thinking. Okay, everybody start with the same thinking. It's all technical. We're not artists. Okay, designer's role is to solve a problem. Architect also solve a problem. Engineers solve a problem. The doctors solve a problem. So start from solving problem. You'll be a good designer.
Okay, I think let's just do one more very quickly. Okay, this one. Can you grow a website presence organically without writing content such as articles or blogs?
Straight out, no. That's not possible. I think Ivan have explained this before. If there's no content, why would Google want to send people there? Right? So, okay, if anybody have any questions, feel free to ask me. You can Google my name, Edwin Masripan. I think you'll find LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram. Just ask me there. I'll try my best to answer it.
All right, absolutely. Edwin, thank you so much for such a fun presentation. It has been very, very relatable, and it was an absolute joy to watch. Absolutely super. Thank you so much for joining us at Webfest 2020. Have a nice day, and feel free to continue watching with the rest of us. We've got 2 more speakers coming up.
All right,
Thank
sure.
you.
All right, thank you, Lauren.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Exabytes. Grow your business online.